You see, a funny thing happened on the way to the war zone. Real funny thing happened, though it ain't gonna make you laugh. Somewhere on the other side of the world, the Russians are causing trouble. And as we all know, this could lead to issues in other places. And the shockwaves of what the Russians are doing in Europe are hitting all the way to the West and North America. And amazingly enough, now that the world is talking about war, there ain't a strong or independent female to be found anywhere on the planet. And that all happened overnight. That didn't take 2 or 3 years. That didn't take a revolution. That didn't take an act of Congress. All it took was a war to break out. And all of a sudden, there's not a strong and independent female to be found anywhere. Let me go ahead and just lay the facts of life on you about this here. Right now, they all out here looking like this, talking about strong and independent. This what it's looking like now. Now that we're saying, you know what? Yeah, we men have had a second thought about that strong and independent thing. And you know what? Equality, let it have its day. Y'all been fighting and yelling. All your gender studies students, all you folks in college, tell your professors and whatnot, hey, hop up here, strong and independent time. We ain't seeing you. We don't see you all arguing that you're demanding to have access to the battlefield, demanding to have access to the barracks, demanding to have access to the tanks and the jet fighters. All of a sudden, there's not a strong and independent female on the face of the earth now. Wiped out in a single evening. Hit my likes, hit my shares, cause I'm gonna hit them where it hurts tonight. And YouTube is gonna hate it. So before you start spraying your perfume, here's some real men speak. For those of you who are unaware, the Russians have invaded Ukraine. For those of you who are unaware of your Russian history, long story short, about 30 years ago, the former Soviet Union fell apart. And the states that the former Soviet Union had acquired and cobbled together to form the Soviet Empire broke back off again into their separate nations. Ukraine being among the largest of those. And that's where the Chernobyl power plant is. Long story short, Vladimir Putin has decided he wants to reform the Soviet Empire and reacquire those states. So they sent in an invasion force a few years ago into Crimea. Now they're going into Ukraine itself. And this is a sign of big, big trouble if the Soviet Union's going to make a comeback. So that happened. Now, the Ukraine was aware of this. And now that hostilities have broken out in the Ukraine, oh boy. Oh man, oh man. Well, there is a draft. There is a draft in the Ukraine, and there's something I want to show you here. In the Ukraine, they said they're drafting reservists aged 18 to 60. That doesn't mean able-bodied. That means any adult, basically. 18 to 60. But in another story here, you can see, and I want you to see this one here because if you take a look at the date on this one, when you take a look at the date on this story, this is December of last year. December 27th of last year, and you see the headline. Ukraine requires women to register for military's conscription as Russia threat looms. So, well before the shooting, well before the hostilities started, well before then, it was by the way, ladies, yeah, you have equality. As a matter of fact, we insist on it. You want the rest of society to pay for your sexual adventures, your sexual recklessness, your bastard babies, your stupid degrees that you go get that you can't do anything with, your wrong-headedness, maternity leave. Well, here's the payback. Here's where you reimburse the society. So yes, the women were told in December, oh, equality ain't just a good idea, it's the law. See, women want to define equality as we get all the benefits and don't have to do any sacrificing. No, sacrificing is pulling up to the front damn door with a lift gate. So ladies, they got put on notice damn near less than 60 days before they got to go. It wasn't even 60 days before they're like, oh, gotta go. And everybody is catching a fade. Don't believe me? Oh! From CNN, the family that slays together hopefully stays together. I hope these two young people live long enough to enjoy their marriage because it is off to the races for them. It is off to the races for them. And I'm trying to figure out, hey, Bushika. Hey, Tanika. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Angela. Hey, strong and independent. Hey, I got my master's degree, my bachelor's degree. Hey, I don't need no man. Hey, I can be 50-50. Why do I have to... Anything a man can do, I can do. Why do I have to submit anything? I can do anything he can do. Oh, I'm so glad you volunteered. So glad you volunteered. Yeah, you say you can be a one-man army? So glad you volunteered because you're going to have to be here in just a minute. In just a minute. Let me tell you, feminism is dying a very quick death in the Ukraine. Feminism is dying a very swift, mind-blowingly fast death in the Ukraine. Feminism, womanism, not being willing to submit, the men don't lead, fighting them for authority. Oh, that just died in 48 hours. That died quick, fast, and in a hurry. And by the way, you see the way he's standing, and you see the way she's standing. I wonder which one of them is going to have to take the most bodies. I'm just saying. Ladies, I'm holding this broadcast tonight because all this delusional fantasy talk, we got to just keep it real, man. Y'all know full damn well what's going to happen. When the rubber meets the road, and when the crap hits the fan, you know what you're going to be doing and ain't going to be doing. If the Russians show up tomorrow morning, strong and independent my ass, you're going to be like, sir, do you need somebody to wash your tank? You need somebody to spray off your jet plane, sir? Do you need somebody to clean your Jeep, sir? Do you need anything else, sir? Are you lonely tonight? Yeah, I know you killed my husband, my boyfriend, and, but the nigga dead now, so no reason for me to cry over it. But need somebody to spray off your tank, Mr. Putin? Need somebody to clean your Jeep, Mr. Putin? We can take care of that for you, sir. You know damn well that's what it's going to be. Are y'all sharing this program tonight? Because you two gon' hate me. They gon' hate me. But I got to call it for what it is. They gon' hate me. It is this type of behavior that men do not respect. It is impossible to respect female of today's society when they engage in this type of hypocritical nonsense that everybody knows is a bunch of crap. You're saying a bunch of things you don't actually mean, but you're causing tons of untold, unlimited harm in the meantime. That's the problem. You're causing untold amounts of unlimited harm and damage in the meantime. That's the issue. For stuff you are not going to be able to do. Strong and independent is the biggest damn lie in the world. If the Russians roll up, you know full damn well you only got one strategy you're going to be using. Just one. I wonder if the Russian soldiers need a second. That's all you're going to be saying. I wonder, what do I need to do to defect? Oh, don't worry, I just got this gun for show. Don't you see? I ain't wearing no military fatigues. I'm not wearing no military fatigues. That little dumb heifer over there, she wearing them. Y'all can go knock her off, but not me. No, I was waiting on y'all to show up. I was waiting on you all to show up so I could join your team. And you know full damn well that's what it will be. I want to know where the strong and independent women are tonight. That's what I'm trying to find out. Where are the strong and independent women tonight? Where are the PhDs and the master's degrees and the MBAs and the net jerkers? And the it takes two incomes. I need to find out where you all are tonight. I need to know where you are. I need you to stand up. I need all the strong and independent females to stand up. I need to know where you are. I need for you to stand up and represent. Because right now you are AWOL and we can't find you. Because you see, as men, we understand these things. As men, we understand. See, we all had to sign up for selective service, which is the draft. As males, we had to do that. And then the Supreme Court stepped in and has been trying to protect the females ever since from Congress. But understand something. Oh, you gonna end up drafted. You will. Oh, you will. You damn sure will. Absolutely. You see, as men, we've already been through the draft process. We had to do that when we were 18 years old. That thing called selective service. We had to do that when we were 18 years old. So we already had to get ours. But for you, oh, you're going to find out how selective service works. You're going to find out how. You're going to find out. Those of you, by the way, if you got medical training, if you're nurses, if you're all you nurses out there and whatnot, yeah, military, we know exactly where we're going to send you. We know exactly where we're going to send you. And just in case you're telling yourselves, oh, well, Jason, you think you so smart. I live in the United States. I don't live in the Ukraine. So even if they were drafting, no, I don't have to worry. I'm too old. No, in the United States, you can join the military up to the age of 42. You can join the military in the United States up to the age of 42. They will take recruits up to the age of 42. But there's a loophole. My military people know about this one. Now, there's a loophole because you find out all kinds of things about the president and Congress's war powers. My folks who were in the military know that if they ever try to talk back to their superiors about what the U.S. military cannot do, what Congress cannot do, and what the president cannot do as far as war, they'll be very quick to remind you, oh, the Constitution basically grants the president unlimited war powers. You see, you had children fighting in the American Revolutionary War. It's only now in the modern era that we don't draft children, but let's be very, very clear. You had children fighting in the American Revolutionary War. You had children fighting in the American Civil War. Much younger than 18 years old. Much younger. And the president or Congress could reinstate the ability to do that at any time. And oh yeah, as far as that 42-year-old limit, oh no, they could hike that at any time. Just like Social Security, they could raise that number at any time. If you think for a moment, all it takes is an executive order and boom, the age limit is whatever they want it to be. Get your ass up, Grandma. Get your ass up, Grandma. You got to go to basic training. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of you chicks think you're going to be real smart. They ain't going to draft me. I'm built like Fat Albert. Some of them were saying that on my Facebook today. They can't take me. See, I'm big and out of shape. Oh, don't worry. Basic training gonna burn them calories. ask my military people. Basic training gonna burn them calories. Ain't no hot pockets on the military base. Ain't no Baconator. Your MREs are balanced for a nutritious diet. Oh, believe me, you gonna shed some pounds. You will have no choice in the matter. You might go in a size 16, assuming you don't get killed. You will leave somewhere resembling a size 6. You'll have to. Oh, you gonna go on marches, jogs, whole 9 yards. Ain't no jello pudding around here, baby. My military people know what I'm talking about. My military people know what's real. Oh, trust me. You gonna have more in common with Simone Biles than with Simone Sanders. You damn sure will. You absolutely will. Oh, believe that. You sure will. You gonna be walking around that damn place looking for a Taco Bell or whatnot. Oh, no, MREs for you. And then they can enforce it. It's like, oh no, your big ass got to drop about 50 pounds. Oh, I got kids. Don't worry, we put them on the GI Bill. Your ass gonna be on this bus at 6 a.m. Get your grandmama, your auntie, somebody to take care of them kids. Your big ass is gonna be on this bus at 6 a.m. I got kids. You got basic training. I got a sick grandma. You got drills. That's what you got. But you don't understand. My doctor said, no, ma'am. You don't understand. The President of the United States said. And if you are not here tomorrow morning, that is called desertion. So you can come serve in the barracks or you can go serve time. Because you see, that's what they tell us as men. See, the men understand this. All of us with selective service, we were not asked if we wanted to sign up for selective service. We were told we would be signing up for selective service. We were told that. I remember it to this day. I got my selective service notices. They were sending those to me in high school. I was like, forget about that. I ain't taking that one. No, I'm sidestepping that all the way. Man, don't you know they came to my damn house? Don't you know when they couldn't get a hold of me that year, they came to my damn house and left a letter and said, hello, we need you to sign for selective service. It's quick. It's easy. It's the law. It signs you up for all kinds of medical government benefits. It's going to be great for you. You need that. And then the last sentence of the letter, I'll never forget it. The last sentence of the letter, I'll never forget it. The last sentence was, our goal is to register you, not prosecute you. Needless to say, they had my undamned divided attention at 18 years old. They had my undamned divided attention when they said that. And it's like, oh, really? And remember, I'm in Louisiana, so you know is okay, we looking for the black males to lock them up for just any old damn thing. Mess around and have a traffic stop. Oh, you didn't sign up for your selective service. Get out of the car. So yeah, as men, we learn about this real quickly. As women, you all get coddled. You get played with. You have folks that up here and play games with you. We allow you to debate. And it used to be it was harmless, but now it's moved beyond being harmless. Now it's dangerous. It's dangerous because we're having stupid arguments about stupid things because you have the luxury of doing so. Or at least you did. And that's the real problem. But if you was about that life, you would be signed up and standing up right now. Hit my likes. Can y'all hit my likes for me and hit my shares? You know YouTube is going to be on extra hard hating tonight. It's Friday night, but we're going to keep it real. If you all were really about that life, that's what you'd be doing. What I want to see right now is to the fellas out there, to the males who had to sign up for selective service, while you got females talking about they strong and independent, to the fellas who had to sign up for selective service and you remember signing up for it. If I'm telling the truth, hit the thumbs up in the chat room and hit my likes for me. To the males, I want you females to understand something. To the males who had to grow up under that and whatnot, all of us in high school, while y'all sitting up here listening to whatever rap music you were listening to, whatever slutty R&B you were listening to, we were sitting up here having to sign up for selective service. It didn't matter if you were Pookie, Ray Ray, or Jason Black. All of us had to sign up to put our lives on the line for military service. All of us. All of us, while you sitting up here racking up the damn bastard kids, while you were sitting up here bull jiving and racking up the bastard babies and getting in touch with your inner sluttiness, we didn't have that option. Fresh out of high school, we didn't have any of that. They let us know early. It's like, oh, we don't give a damn what your personal situation is. You belong to Uncle Sam no matter what you tell yourself. No matter what you believe, this is who you belong to. Take a look at how many thumbs up you're seeing, ladies. If y'all want to know why it is we don't have any tolerance for this bull jive about being disrespectful, about being irreverent, about sitting up here pretending you can do what we do, about arguing, about being defiant, about challenging our authority, it is because when the crap hits the fan, you ain't gonna be fighting nothing. You're gonna be bull jiving and hiding somewhere. With your master's degree, your PhD, your MBA, your social worker credentials, your therapy license, your nursing credentials, your law license, you gonna be hiding under a damn desk somewhere or looking for some soldiers on the other side to see if you can snuggle up with. Hey, Mr. Putin, do you need some black Russian babies? You know damn well that's gonna be you. And that's why the men don't have respect for this. When you have the luxury during peacetime to sit up here and talk to us crazy and sit up here and be disrespectful, you jump on it. When it's time for you to sit up here and stand up and prove you actually believe this crap you're talking, all of a sudden the damn room gets deathly quiet. This tweet has been getting passed around a lot here. This has been getting passed around a lot. Feminism didn't last a damn day. And I'm not exactly sure when this tweet was put up because it doesn't really matter. The bottom line is the sentiment holds true no matter when it was put up. But let's be very, very clear. She speaks for all of y'all. She doesn't speak for a few of you. She speaks for all of you. She speaks for all of you. As soon as we run up on y'all, okay, I need you to take this gun and get ready to take them fellas on over there. You're going to be like, what the hell is this? How am I supposed to sign a checkbook with this? No, ma'am, it's called a gun. What the hell you expect me to do with this? We expect you to fight and die for your country. Fight and die? Oh, no. Let me see if somebody needs somebody to clean their equipment. Surely the Russians need somebody to change their oil. Surely they do. Because it ain't gonna be me. Yeah, she speaks for all of you. She speaks for all of you. She speaks for every single female in America right now. She speaks for all of you, including the ones in the military. They trying to figure out how they can get out of it now. Don't let them fool you. You haven't seen a single female in the military talking about, boy, I can't wait to go to Europe. Can't wait to get to the Ukraine. Can't wait to fight for democracy and freedom. Not a damn one of them. All of them trying to figure out, now, how the hell can I get out of this? How can I get away from this now? You know I got kids, right? You can't be saying, I got a sick grandma all day, girl. Now you know, gotta get somebody else, right? I mean, they're trying to pull out every damn excuse there is. You got chicks out there trying to get the coronavirus so they ain't got to go. Trying to get sick so they don't have to go. This is what we're dealing with right now. I want to know where the strong and independent women are tonight. Because I've been hearing about this bullcrap, and every time a war jumps off, Gulf War I, Gulf War II, 9/11, Ukraine. Every time a war jumps off, all of a sudden the smart, slick at the mouth females telling you what they don't need, they don't have to do, and being disrespectful. I'll make it on my own. I can do it by myself. All of a sudden they damn me disappear. To the bumblehead ass females out there, when all of a sudden they disappear. Ladies, if you want to know what the reality is here, yes, the amount of income that a man makes is very much significant. But let's be very, very clear. What makes a man valuable is that when something go bump in the night or something goes boom during the day, it is the men who will be going to see about that, not you. So his income is only one part of the equation. Now, if he's too cowardly and lily-livered to be able to see about that, that's a different matter. His income is worthless if he's a coward. But if this man is going to be required to do the masculine responsibilities, he is your financial leader, your social leader, your civic leader, your physical leader. Yes, he is the leader on multiple levels, not just one. So even if you did make more money than him, at the end of the day, when something go bump in the night and he tells you, hey, baby, I need you to, I heard something downstairs there. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can, I'll let you go see about that, baby. You can go see about that. Yeah. Well, you make more money and everything. We 50-50, baby. We 50-50. I'm going to go down there next time. You go down there tonight and see what that sound was. I'll go down there next time. You tell me. You tell me. What was it? What was it? Was it live or was it Memorex? Ladies, how many of you gonna line up and go see about that? We need to find out tonight. How many of you are gonna go live and go see about that? I need to hear from the strong and independent females tonight. Just slick at the mouth. You're talking about what you're going to do by yourself. You're talking about what you running while y'all are sitting there in a dance club that has nice air conditioning, male security. Okay, it's time to show and prove, ladies. It is time to show and prove. If you got equality and you going to flex it, you need to demonstrate your equality now. Don't you? Either that or shut the hell up and hold your peace forever. You're done talking. You're done talking. And it shouldn't be too hard for you to go ahead and substantiate that, should it? Well, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and see about that? I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines. Oh no, we're going to jump right into it tonight. We're not going to get an hour in. We're going to jump right into it tonight here. I'm opening up the phone lines and I want to find out, where are the strong, independent women at to fight the war? Where are the strong and independent women at now that it's time to pick up a gun? Where are the strong and independent women at to demand equality on the battlefield? Equality when bullets are flying. Equality when bombs are dropping. I'm trying to find y'all, and it's been deathly quiet out there. Deathly quiet. Where y'all been? Did you all get abducted by aliens? Was it the rapture? Where are they? I can't find them. Somebody call me up and tell me where they are. I keep on searching and I keep on looking, but I can't locate any. And I'm pretty good about finding people. Between the Biden supporters and the black feminists, I can't find any of these people. For the first time ever, Jason Black can't find anybody. So I'm opening up the phone lines because I want you all to call me up and tell me where they at. Where they at? Because I can't find them. I've been looking. Somebody call me up and tell me, where are the women who are demanding equality? Where are the black feminists? Where are the 50-50? Where are the anything the man can do, I can do? Where are the, oh, well, I don't respect him because he doesn't make XYZ amount of money and, whatever else. Where are they at tonight? I'm trying to find them. Can somebody give me a road map, a treasure map, GPS navigation? Can you find where they are? Where in the hell is Carmen Sandiego? That heifer's hiding too. phone lines are open. Y'all better get in where you fit in and call in early. You know it's going to be a lot of calls tonight. Let me grab caller from area code 443. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Craig from Baltimore.
Craig from Baltimore.
You still there?
Where are the strong and independent women at?
Hey, man, they're clueless, literally clueless. This situation that you see going on in Ukraine, it doesn't register on their radar screen. Even I'm 48 years old, ready to turn 49, and when you bring up the issue of the Cold War, that's like something on another planet they can't comprehend. And if you just listen around on YouTube, like the preppers and stuff, like Mark Frugal TV, they have some real deep discussions about what's about to go down. That what you need to be aware of is not going to really be up on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. It'd be people writing articles that would be in a small section in the New York Times or military.com weekly about what's about to go down. Like, for example, there have been maneuvers in the United States plan how to organize our forces off of military bases in the case of our military bases where they get hit. And 3 movies that these women need to pay attention to that you and I grew up on. One, Colonel Jessup, when he said, you can't handle the truth in A Few Good Men. Another movie that we might have to really get down and get gritty, the classic movie, Starship Troopers, Join the Federal Service guarantees citizenship. And they showed you straight up equality in there. And if you remember how that went down. And also another movie that really what America might get down to, because if they launch an EMP over this country and throw us into the dark ages, and Russia's smart enough, or China's smart to say, it's better to fight a land war than a nuclear war because we need the resources of the United States. The original Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze.
Well, you forgot one, but then again, it might be before your time. For those of you who don't remember, there was a film. It was an ABC original movie, as a matter of fact. And even to this day, it was back in, even to this day, it holds up extremely well, by the way, for special effects and everything. Even though it was like 40 years ago, it holds up extremely well. The Day After. If you really want to know what an actual nuclear exchange would be, and then the aftermath, not in the Hollywood terms, but in real world terms. Well, yeah, there are survivors, but now the world you're going to have to deal with after the event. The Day After is required viewing. Let me tell you, there ain't no feminists in that world. There aren't any humanitarians, any of the humanities, any of the neck jerking where you're depending on men for your survival and then disrespecting them every day. Oh, hell no. There's just the living and the dead. And that's all there is. There are the living and the
also
dead.
Also Threads, too. Yeah.
Well,
they're on YouTube, both of them.
Yeah, like I said, we'll keep the list a little short because, like I said, there's going to be a lot for them to check through, but you're absolutely right. And the real thing is, like I said, that's what we used to do before we got in this garbage we're in today, because we created a world where women have the luxury of being disrespectful. It used to be that when you were disrespectful, your survival was endangered. Now you can be disrespectful and you will call some other males to come help enforce your disrespect. So no, if you actually have to actually stand 10 toes down on your own, you find out it's a whole different damn world. And let's be very, very clear. You and I as men understand that if the bombs came down, all these damn single moms with their mama's boys and whatnot, oh, trust me, you know, there was if you remember the movie 300, based on the graphic novel by Frank Miller, if you remember when the Spartans chopped off the Persian's arm and whatnot and told him, tell Xerxes that we're free men here, not slaves. And the Persian says, no, not slaves. Your women will be slaves. Your children, your elders will be slaves, but not you. Understand, if it all goes down, and like right now, brother, you understand. I put up a quote by Albert Einstein. For those of you who are not on my Facebook page, I put up a quote by Albert Einstein. And remember, he helped to build the original nuclear bomb. And he said, I do not know with which weapons World War III will be fought, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yep.
Now, he understood, after this, ain't going to be another world war after this one. Oh, no, this will be the last one. Or if it is, this will be the last one fought. The next world war will be the last one fought with any type of technology. Now, here's the killing thing about it. That is actually an untrue statement. The whole reason for the preppers, and there's a reason why people like you watch preppers, there's a reason why the preppers matter, because those guys are like, well, actually, that will not happen. Nuclear weapons would not wipe out all of mankind. That would be a very daunting task to have happen. There will be survivors, and the real question is, for those of us who do survive, what will it be? And anybody who's watched those shows know the first thing they do is they go looking for batteries. They go looking for machining equipment. They go looking for all the things they need to do. So even after a nuclear exchange, they would be right first in line to get things back to a first world order. Who's going to be able to go back and restart the power plants? Who's going to be able to go back and work the water purification? Because now you're dealing with contaminated water. So you're going to have to start that process all over again of decontaminating the water if it's irradiated. Who's going to be prepared to deal with all those things from the ground up? And I'm telling you right now, and I don't like to mix these subjects between my two channels, but what I will tell you is the white supremacists would be thrilled with a nuclear exchange. I was in Louisiana when Hurricane Katrina happened. I was there in 2005. I was there when the pumps shut down on Canal Street. I was there. And let me tell you, over the next 48 hours, they were calling into the radio stations. I mean, they were perfectly fine with it, because they were like, now at least finally that damn federal government is out of the way, and we can just do whatever we're gonna do. And they started gunning people down on the Danziger Bridge. And they have, to this day, they have not really arrested all the people who were responsible for that. They started gunning people down at the mall. They started gunning them down on Danziger Bridge. They started gunning them down in the streets out there. And we have never brought any of those people to task for it. Because number one, you don't know most of them. But number two, because that's what happens when you don't have an infrastructure in place. That's what's right beneath the surface. There's a whole bunch of folks who would love for that to break down. And the first thing they will do is get their women in line.
Also, Jason, if you go up on YouTube, the BBC did a documentary about 5 years ago called World War III in Europe, where they showed how this situation in Ukraine would pop off to a third world war across Europe. People need to go up on YouTube and pull that up as well, because everything they showed on there, you see it right. You see it going on right. But those Ukrainians are fighting back against the Russians as much as possible. The Russians thought they were going to walk up in Ukraine. They are actually whacking them. They're shooting them down. They are not playing.
Well, they're certainly going to put up a fight for it. The Russian military, however, has got them outnumbered and outgunned. But then again, we've seen throughout history where grossly outnumbered, outgunned people were able to hold off a much larger military force. Afghanistan, Vietnam, we can go down the list. The Zulu, we can go down the list. So we're going to see how things go here. Yeah. But I will tell you one thing. When it comes to a situation like this, where it's survival of the fittest, not survival of the mouthiest, it'll be real interesting to see where your strong and independent women are. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me tell you right now, it's a whole bunch of so-called lesbians out here. Whole bunch of so-called lesbians saying, hey, let me see if I can dust off my man-grabbing resume. Let me see if I can dust off my man-grabbing resume here. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be, all lesbianed up and everything, but let me see if I can. Let me see. I need somebody to help me with this circuit breaker. I don't know how to get this damn thing restarted. I don't know left from right, positive from negative, but these butt cheeks might be able to get the attention of somebody who can. So I need some help here. Let's go ahead and get called from area code 321. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? It's Anton from Orlando.
Anton from Orlando. What's on your mind?
Man, you on said it. I was about to tell you that them lesbians, they disappeared. They're no longer butch no more. They no longer walk with a limp no more. They got a dress on now. They're talking real nice. So, yeah, you're right. I don't hear nothing about these independent chicks. I've seen girls I have seen girls say, oh, yeah, we can do anything. But as soon as the bombs happen, lesbians don't exist. Independent women don't exist. They just disappear.
No
It's sad that we'll have to
transgender studies. There's no more aficionados of transgender studies, no more feminist studies, no more womanist studies. All of a sudden, none of them are going to go out there in the streets and try to defend that. None of them will. Amazing. Amazing.
Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this book this guy wrote called Economic Hitman?
Yes, people have been talking about that for over a decade now, yes.
Yeah. I remember him saying when milk goes up to $5 or close to it, that's when revolution comes. So most militaries start wars randomly. I just thought that was a coincidence as you see prices going up.
Well, definitely there's a lot to learn. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 804. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
This is Montague from Fort Washington, Maryland.
Montague from Fort Washington, Maryland. What's on your mind?
Just want to give everybody a quick history lesson. The 1917 draft law cases, those were the Supreme Court cases that determined that a man's expectation of receiving services and protection from the government came at the price that men allowed the government to conscript them into war whenever the government required that men be conscripted into war. 2 years after those cases were decided, you wound up having the 19th Amendment that was passed that said that women could vote. Funny thing is, a woman's right to vote was not tied to her ability to be conscripted into war whenever the government saw fit. It was just us men. So to all the women out there that are, saying we're independent and all this and that, they just need to recognize that everything that they have is because we as men had to pay that price of putting our lives on the line to protect them. And we didn't really have a choice. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, definitely they understand that. They're not ignorant of that. Women understand that every single protection that they've had since the agricultural years, since the dawn of man, is specifically because of men's sacrifices. What you have now is the situation where they've gained so much that it's become this culture of contempt for the very people who have provided this luxurious lifestyle. So there's the real problem, is the contempt segment that seeped into it. That's the real issue. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 202. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, Jason. This is Culture from D.C.
Culture from D.C. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to say that you made two very excellent points. And the first being that the government, always expands its authority to do whatever it is they want to during war times. We currently live in an age where the government expanded its authority with the 2001 Patriot Act, and it's pretty much never turned back ever since. Just seeking to continually expand their authority to kind of get in people's privacy under the guise of fighting terrorism. So under wartime, government does what they want to do when they want to do. That was number one. Number two, I remember turning 18 in 2008, having to register for selective service, and just looking around, seeing all of my classmates who pretty much understood, listen, these schools didn't give us much. So if I'm not going to college, I'm either going to have to go to the military, or I'm going to have to hit the streets. So I have a lot of friends who I no longer, can call because they might have lost their lives or might have lost their minds in a combat zone fresh out of their mother's house. 17 years old, already knowing that they're getting ready to get shipped into a combat zone somewhere. So I just wanted to give you credit for dropping knowledge on those two.
Yeah, like I say, definitely you have all these laws that are in place, all these laws that matter, all these statutes. They're completely out of touch with them. They don't know. They haven't had to live under any of this. They've been able to skip along blissfully unaware and blissfully oblivious. We as the men haven't had that luxury. We've actually had to build this and secure it, take all the risks, and then be told what we owe somebody else for what we've built for them. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. By the way, I'm still waiting for the women. I'm still waiting for the women to call in. Where are the strong and independent women? I'm not finding any of the strong and independent women tonight. Where'd you all go? We're waiting. We're waiting with bated breath. We're trying to figure out where the strong and independent women are tonight. And so far, y'all are AWOL. You're AWOL tonight. Where are the strong and independent women? Call of Mary Code 850. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Black. Xavier, Virginia Military Institute, Lexington, Virginia.
All right, Xavier in Lexington, Virginia. What's on your mind?
I agree with everything you say. I'm an ROTC instructor. I teach military science. I was a drill sergeant, AIT instructor. What's happening now, Mr. Black, is all your college females that have got scholarships and contracts are trying to revoke their contracts because they don't want to go active military. So what happens is if you're in the ROTC program, you're seeking, you're contracting, or you're getting a scholarship. So you're paying for 4 years. The Army is paying for a 4-year economics communication scholarship. But you got to give the Army 4 years active duty. Based on the war, you're not going to be a platoon leader because you don't want to go to war, so you're trying to avoid your scholarships. If you see what I'm saying. The Army has the ACFT PT test that we just changed. The Army changed up the PT test because the ladies cannot do leg tucks or they cannot do pull-ups. So they changed our PT test because they're not physically capable of doing a leg tuck or a pull-up. So what's happening now, based on what's going on with the Ukraine or whatever, they're opting out of going active duty. If it makes sense.
Well, they will. They will try to that physical training thing. A lot of them are going to try that, but I think if you train, then I think you know enough to understand it. The real thing is, well, they lower the standards. Yeah, the real point of lowering the standards is simply to have the ability to make it legal to bring you in. Once they get you in, we own you now. So you didn't have to control your diet before you got in here. Now that you're here, we own your diet now. So yeah, you might not be able to do no push-ups when we started. Once we knock about 40 pounds off you, you'll be a push-up machine.
But you made a valid point because what they're doing again, just like we call it a family care plan. If you got to deploy to Afghanistan, Iraq, or Kuwait, you got to have a family care plan within 30 days to go into your unit. Your family care plan is you're going to give your child a big mama, grandmama, sister, or whatever, but you still going to deploy. You still got to deploy. If you do not deploy, we will chapter you out of the military. So you have to have a family care plan in place. So what they're doing, Mr. Black, is they're getting pregnant. They're coming up with all these excuses to not deploy or not to go to Germany, Poland, NATO, or whatever. And I see this time now. They're doing it right now. They're executing all the fine lines, all the little, small intricacies of, I can't go because I got 3 kids. Well, give it to your baby daddy, give it to your grandmama or whatever, but you still got to fulfill this mission. You still got to go over to Germany, Poland, or whatever to assist NATO and assist this deployment with whatever. They don't want to do that. You got females right now, Mr. Black, they getting pregnant right now to get out of the deployment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's an old
right
trick.
Now. I mean, they're getting pregnant.
Oh, that's an old trick. Every time CNN tells you they're shooting somewhere in the reserves and every damn thing else, the Navy is infamous for this, by the way. They're far from the only offender, but the Navy is probably the worst offender. But as soon as they figure out, you got to go somewhere between them and the Army Reserves, hoes be turned up pregnant everywhere. Ladies, y'all be grimy. I ain't hating. We gotta just say, ladies, y'all gotta own this. Y'all are grimy. You will sit up here and try to hold up babies as sacred, but y'all will have a baby to get a green card. You'll have a baby to get a driver's license. You'll have a baby to get a check, and then tell the men that babies are precious.
Yes, sir.
They'll sit up here and have abortion laws everywhere and tell the men that babies are precious. No, babies are precious when y'all want to benefit, but when it's time to actually uphold that, you want the men to uphold it.
Mr. Black, I was in Desert Storm. I was in all the other whatever. It was prostitution rings being ran in Afghanistan and Iraq. Camp Liberty, Anaconda. The females was running prostitution rings abroad. They was doing all that type of issues. I'm telling you. And I came back into the military. I'm prior service. I came back in the military at 38. I was 38 years old when they had the assault on Fallujah. You are absolutely right. They can raise that fucking age limit. The age limit can be raised to 38, 42, 60. I think the Ukraine minister said if you're between 19 and 60, you can't leave the country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You have to stay in the country.
Now, these are more draconian laws because you have to understand when bombs start dropping where you're at, then all of a sudden you find out what the nation can really do. Now, if you remember Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and like I said, I was in high school when all that jumped off for the most part. I was in high school for the most part when all that jumped off. And, you know, they were coming to get us then. Oh, they were like, they were recruiting heavy then. They were giving bonus. That was when they really started bumping up the bonuses when Desert Shield happened.
Right.
So they were really, if you remember, they started, for those of us out of high school, they were coming to us. And like when we finished our ASVAB, depending on what you scored on the ASVAB, when they came for us, especially the males, so they were like, they were hitting us with bonus. We got hit with all of them, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They were hitting us with bonuses and whatnot all over the damn place. They were pretty much willing to give us a free ride on anything we wanted. And so in my case, and I know you want to say something else, I'm going to let you finish, but I just want to say in my case, now I told them I'm not going to sign up for the military unless, because I knew you could do this, I said, I want a letter from the Secretary of the Army that says that when I'm done with my tour of duty, I'm done. And I cannot be recalled.
Right.
The recruiter told me...
Stop call.
The recruiter told me, well, we could probably see about that. But what you need to understand is that if the president says you stay, then all bets are off. When he said that, brother, I was like, well, thank you for your time. You may leave.
Because one thing they didn't understand, Mr. Black, is what's happening now. Like I told my cousins and my nephews, they're giving $50,000 sign-in bonuses to go in the Army. You could, based on a certain job set, you can get a $50,000 sign-in bonus. Why is that? Intel, cyber, whatever. So we already know what's going down the pipe, and they're about to raise the ages. They're going to raise the ages to 38, 40, 42, because they're trying to build up the force. Because when you have a recession, inflation, 2008, whatever, it's always a conflict, right? There's always a conflict. When anything happens with monetary, it's a conflict. So what's funny, and I agree with you 100%, all the females that were strong and independent. Now, I don't want to go over to NATO. I don't want to go to Poland. I don't want to go to Germany. I don't want to deploy. I can't leave baby girl. I can't. No. But you got your communications degree on the GI Bill. You got your fucking economics degree, excuse me for cursing, on the GI Bill. But now it's time to put boots on the ground. They don't want to deploy. And
brother, sir, you remember what that's like.
Time now.
My folks here, they know. And I bring up the Navy because the Navy is probably the most shameless place for it. You put them broads on a ship, and dude, they get run through, run over, run backwards. Ugly. You put them in the on the military bases. It doesn't matter whether it's stateside or overseas. It's bad in the States. It's a whorehouse overseas. Them broads think nothing, absolutely nothing of getting pregnant. And here's the crazy thing about it here. Because, of course, one of the things that confuses a lot of black males is they get in the military. Next thing you know, Becky is all over them. Yeah, if she needs to get pregnant, she don't give a damn who it is by. Get me this damn kid so I can get the hell back stateside and exercise my white privilege some more. So they come out real confused. It's a really crazy environment to be in. But dude, you're absolutely right. They have no qualms whatsoever about it. All this sexuality, and they act so prudish about it over here. Dude, as soon as the bullets start flying, the first thing that gets sacrificed is sexual prudishness. I'll let you have the last word.
Once again, I'm an ROT instructor at a senior military college. And all I'm saying, I'm a senior NCO. I instruct officers. They're like, I don't want my commission. I'm done, because an officer that gets commissioned is a platoon leader. They are a platoon leader, Vietnam, Korea, whatever. So they're a first lieutenant, whatever. They're like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, but well, the Army gave you 4 years of college. I don't want to go active duty and be a platoon leader because I'm going to the Ukraine. What? But we paid for your college. You just cannot throw in the towel and say, I don't want to do that. So what's happening is the females are opting out. They don't want to do it. They're trying to go back and do any fine print before their contracts. And it's like, in about 6 months, once you graduate in May, you will be in Ukraine. You will be in Poland, Germany, or whatever, and you will be doing it. And like I said, Mr. Black, I agree with you. These females are trying to get out this shit.
It's not going to help. You and I both understand it's not going to help them. They can try these little dirty taxes they want to. Men have been running militaries since the beginning of civilization, if you want to call it civilization. A baby is not going to get you. If Uncle Sam wants your ass, a baby ain't going to get you out of it. Your sick grandmama ain't going to get you out of it. Losing a limb isn't going to get you out of it. If he wants you, you're going.
You have signed a contract. Once you go to MEPS, and they do that physical.
Thank you.
Because you got to think about it. Because they get all that disability. I got 100% disability. When you get 100% disability, I got bad arches. So the Army gonna pay you 100% for the rest of your life because of bad arches. Because you've been wearing them high heels at the club. So don't you think you're not going to deploy and pump some gas and be the logistics and communications or whatever? So like I said, Mr. Black, I agree with you. Thank you for having me on here, but you're absolutely right. They're about to go, and I see that look on these faces every single day. And Mr. Black, they're scared. These females are scared to death.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and them and Oprah Winfrey straight up lied to them. They straight up lied.
I see them in class. They're like Big Sword. They're like, Big Sword. I've been doing this for 30 years. 6'2", 215, old crusty NCO. They're like, Big Sword, I got to go. Well, where I'm go to the bathroom at? Ain't no bathrooms in motherfucking Ukraine. Ain't no bathrooms in fucking Afghanistan. Ain't no bathrooms in. Ain't no wet wipes. It ain't no. With Big Sarge, I got a baby. And what's your point?
Welcome to the real
world. I don't
world.
give a fuck what you feel. I want results and what you care. The real world. Thank you, Mr. Black.
Thank you very much for joining us here. I mean, that's real talk. It is what it is. A bunch of y'all been sitting here coddled with cell phones, coddled with bastard baby making, coddled by your parents and step parents sitting up here pampering you, sitting up here putting you in front of video games. You can afford to be dumb. Let me tell you something. You are one catastrophe away from finding out how damn real things really are. Just one. I can't find a single feminist in America tonight. Where the hell did they all go? I can't find a single one. I've been looking and looking and looking. Does anybody know where they're at tonight? Where are they? Call America code 731. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason from Macon, Georgia.
Jason from Macon. What's on your mind?
I agree with everything you're saying, and the last caller, y'all hit the nail on the head. I'm a Navy veteran, and the first thing the active duty women turn to when it comes to deployment is pregnancy, and I noticed that firsthand. But you spoke on a broadcast a while back about how the pregnancies went down and the marriage rates went down. So right now they're kind of hiding. But when I went on deployment, they even turn to like sexual adventures where they'll get pregnant on deployment and nobody knows who the baby daddy is because it's 7 or 8 of them in line for the blood test for the baby. So they'll just, even when they go out there, they'll just start, okay, if it didn't work in the States, I'm just going to go on an adventure out here and be that hoe per se on deployment, and hopefully I can get a baby while I'm on deployment in these 2 or 3 weeks, and I can get shipped back. So when we notice that females get shipped back on the helicopter, we're like, what's going on? And then that's when the word get around, oh, she got pregnant. I'm like, damn. And it was crazy because that's the women's side of it. But
those are
understand
something that's part of what leads to the contempt from the females, because you put in these loopholes and then the females sit up here and act like I'm better than y'all. I can have a baby. It's like, well, I have the ability to opt out. It's not because you're smart. If you're willing to be grimy enough and nasty enough, that's not something to be bragging about. But to them, that serves as a bragging point. Hey, take a look, I got special abilities. But it only goes to a point. Because if they decide stop loss, if they decide, we're not letting anybody go. Yeah, you go drop the load wherever you do. But when you get done, you have 3 weeks to be back here. If you don't, we will come get you. And that's it. So what it really does is it exposes how grimy and messy the culture is among the females of the day. It just really exposes that part of it. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They are not interested. Even when they go in the military, their purposes for going are not the same as the men's. They're going as an alternative to a civilian job. They're not going to kill people and break things. They're not going to defend the homeland. That's not their reason for being there. And anybody who has ever witnessed females on a Navy vessel, that's why I keep bringing it up. You will learn in exactly 2.3 minutes. Oh, they're not here for the same thing the men are here for. They're not here for that at all. The men are here on a mission. The females are here for something else.
Yes, sir. And with the women that have IT jobs and been in the IT field, look out, because they're looking for you. They're looking for you right now.
Oh, dude, I warn them.
I got my ears to the streets. They're looking for you.
In the Army, they're looking for nurses. In the Air Force, I think Air Force is Cyber Command. They're looking for IT. So absolutely. Go get your IT credentials. Oh, and if you're a nurse with IT credentials, man, you might be first in line. Like, this will really go great here. And brother, people don't understand. For example, they take for granted what selective service is. And they don't understand that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. They don't understand that. Selective service was a compromise, but selective service does not overturn the Constitution. It doesn't overturn that. And at any time, they could just jump up and say, new rules, same as the old rules. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 910. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Jason? This is Sean from Greensboro.
Okay, Sean from Greensboro. What's on your mind?
Just like the previous callers, I'm prior military, Army, and even when the females join, they don't choose the jobs that's going to get them dirty or they got to do hard work. They usually choose, your 42 series, 42 Alpha, or your 68 series, which is medical. Or they choose supply or they'll cook. Anybody in the military knows, especially Army, you go to any S shop at battalion, brigade, it's full of black females. Most of the time they walk around pregnant. We used to call them March of the Penguins because, when it's time, pull out, they all get pregnant. And they just come marching into the company just wilding like a bunch of penguins because they're trying to get out of it and go, because they know once they get out in the field, all bets are off. There's not going to be no safe place for them.
Well, there's the real thing, though. You say, they do come in there pregnant. It's kind of like people with, drug tests. They heard a rumor that if you drink this or drink that, you can beat the test. But here's the thing, though, brother. Will you let them know, does getting you pregnant get you out of going?
No.
Now, there's the dirty little secret. So you're going to get a baby by some... If y'all really want to know why this, I'm going to let you finish your point. Hold your point for a moment. My real thing I want to say here is that y'all have to understand there's so many females out here, and when they call me up week after week, and they'll be little old ladies, because this is not new, people. This isn't new. This has been since the advent of the GI Bill. Females have known since the advent of the GI Bill, hey, if I get pregnant by a service member... Even if this guy's a deadbeat or whatever, Uncle Sam got me. So even if I don't actually qualify for a real producer, if I'm willing to be grimy and slutty enough, then I can just get pregnant by a guy in the military and at least I get some benefits. So, okay, I'm not going to be able to be balling, but at least I get some benefits. And this has been the way that's always been used. So in their minds, when I get these females who call me up and I ask them, was this guy in the military? So when y'all hear me talking to women who are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old with some bastard kids, I'm like, was he in the military? Yeah, he was. Okay, that tells me everything I need to know about you, because this has been going on for decades and decades now. So if they think there's a loophole, that's what I was saying. If they think there's a loophole, oh, they're slutty enough to try it. And it's not just one or two. It is droves. It is the female culture. So yeah, there's this urban myth among the chicks in the military. Somebody tells them, well, if you get pregnant, you don't have to go. And the reality is that's not true. So all you're going to do is end up with a baby by G.I. Pookie. That's all you're going to end up with. And when it's all said and done, you'll be calling me complaining because guess what? To get the full benefits, you really got to marry him. Okay, now you're stuck in that situation. You got a baby. You got a marriage. He knows you ain't no good. He knows you grimy. He knows you slutty. So he's never going to be faithful to you because he didn't meet you that way. He knew the only reason you got a baby is because you was trying to figure out how to not go to Fallujah. He doesn't have respect for you. And if y'all want to know what's happening, that's what's really occurring when these females call up and talk about, I was with a guy in the military. Yeah, you know what you was doing. Go ahead and make your point, brother.
Yeah, you were right about when they do join, like they do in the Navy ship, they get ran through. Even here on stateside, we call them barracks rats. They go from one room to the other. Land with different dudes.
Okay, brother, your phone is really muddled. If you're holding it differently, you need to put it back where it was.
Okay. What I was saying was that the call about the Navy, when they get on the ship, the women get ran through. That does happen on the base on stateside as well. We call them barracks rats. They basically go from one barracks room to the other, getting laid on top of. And I know plenty of females that got laid on by plenty of dudes and end up marrying some old simp who married her and tried to move off. They get married to move off base because they don't want to live in the barracks anymore. So that's another hustle that they do. They'll get married to some old sucker just to move off base so they can have their own off base housing. So that's all I got to say, Jason.
Well, thank you for confirming what I said, because there's one list of benefits you get if you get pregnant. There's another separate set you can get if you get married. So yeah, they try to run the full GI hustle. These ain't GI Joes. These are GI hoes. Y'all can go ahead and copyright that, by the way. These are not GI Joes. These are GI hoes. Yes, I said it. Caller from area code 267. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening. My name is Tammy calling from Williamsport, PA. How are you?
You've already called once. One call per week, Timmy. Caller from area code 609. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Helene, and I was calling from Williamsburg, New Jersey.
Helene from Williamsburg, New Jersey. What's on your mind?
I was in the Navy. I did 14 years in, and I went in. I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. I went in 1985. And got out around 1997. And I'm listening to what the other callers are talking about, and a lot of them are hitting it right on point. They are on point, I'm telling you. When I went in 1985, I got knocked up right as I got out of boot camp. My son's father, me and him, we had a baby. I stayed in 13 years afterwards. But one thing I wanted to say is, I know you have all the women that want these feminists.
Wait. Hold on a second now. I'll let you finish your point there, but let's back up for a moment. She got in there.
Okay.
Why did you get pregnant, ma'am?
I wasn't taking my birth control pill.
Okay, what was you? But you wasn't getting pregnant before then. So what was you trying to avoid?
Yeah, exactly.
What were you trying to avoid, ma'am? What was Reagan doing that you was trying to avoid?
I wasn't avoiding anything because I stayed in.
You picked a hell of a time to start getting pregnant.
Yes, I did, and you're right. I sure did. I was like, "Oh my goodness."
You know better. You know better than that.
Yes.
Okay, she was trying to get the hooker nigga baby. So, all right. She found G.I. Pookie. She was like, all right, this nigga here,
No,
go ahead and
actually,
do
he
that.
wasn't. My son's father wasn't in the service. He was a civilian.
Oh, boy.
He's a civilian.
You was trying to avoid something. She was trying to avoid something, y'all. I don't know if it was Grenada. I don't know if it was Noriega. I don't know what she was trying to avoid. She was trying to get out of something, though, okay? Go on, make your point.
Okay. The point I was making, you were talking about the women that are feminists and, they want to go in, they want to be tough and all that, but can't handle the military. And I see a lot of that in the females
Even from day one, when they talk about MEPS or whatever, there's a big misconception about exactly what that means. And I'm going to go ahead and explain that. So thank you very much for giving us a call. YouTube is messing with the signal here tonight, so they're hating it. YouTube is messing with it tonight, so they're hating it. It is what it is. They hate what we're doing here because we're giving some real talk. So you knew they were gonna mess with it. You knew they weren't gonna let you know it was the GI hoes, right? You know it was the GI hoes, don't you? Y'all know that was it, right? It was the GI hoes. When I said GI hoes, YouTube was like, all right, nigga. Okay. I just want y'all to know that. By the way, it was probably the GI hoes thing. As soon as they heard me say that, it's like, okay, you're going too far now. You're going too far. But when you sign up for the military, man, you have all kinds of ideas. You can tell yourself you're going to go where you want to go. You're going to tell yourself you're going to do what you want to do. No, you're going to go where they want you to go. You're going to go where they want you to go. You're going to do what they want you to do. And if they say, yeah, you got to go ahead and do that, then you got to go ahead and do that. Caller from area code 216. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? This is Mr. Chris from Cleveland. How you doing, sir?
Chris from Cleveland, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hey, I served the United States Marine Corps back when it was Desert Shield. And I got to tell you something, man. I did not see one female pick up an M16 or dig a ditch. And the thing about it is, you want to know what equality looks like? Go out and dig a ditch and join the Marine Corps. Because tell you what, we're the first ones that always take the offensive in any conflict. And so when you sign those papers and go to the MEPS and all of that, you belong to the United States government. Period, point blank. Like you said a minute ago.
Okay, brother, your phone is breaking up on you here, but I think we got the point from it here. His phone is real scratchy. I hope it's just his phone here because they're messing with my signal a lot tonight. Let me get called from area code 313. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, it's Kareem from Detroit.
All right, well, it was just his phone doing that then. All right, Kareem from Detroit, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man, I'm Navy vet here. Your female caller that was a corpsman. I know the exact reason why she got pregnant. If she was a corpsman, that means corpsmen are the medical personnel for the Marine Corps, which means she would have had to deploy to a forward mass unit somewhere out the way. And plus, she got out in '96, which in '96 that's when they started allowing females to serve on ships. And that's when all the problems started. I was in the Navy in '97. I served on the last all-male carrier. We did not have none of those issues, problems, or distractions. A year later, I transferred over to the USS Kitty Hawk. Had women on board. That's when we started seeing all the mess, the boat holes.
I remember it. I remember back in the 90s when Clinton did that. I remember Citadel. When they started demanding that the females could train with the men, and the males were like, no, we do not want that there. This is going to be a problem. It's going to lead to all types of mess. And they were insisting on that. So you're absolutely right. I remember that. Even as a civilian, he's absolutely correct. I remember it. It was under the Clinton administration. That's when all that garbage started, and it's been off to the races ever since.
And if you take it up another 20 years, just before Obama left, what do? He signed into law where women can serve in infantry units. Now, if you do the research, you find in the Marine Corps, there has not yet been one woman to make it through Marine Corps infantry training. Not one, because it's the hardest infantry school to go through. On the Army side, it's been a few ladies here and there. And those are typically the two that made it. They're like quote unquote Olympic level athletes. and they barely made it through. It's the reason why you don't see women in the special forces, in the SEALs, and Delta, Green Berets, Armed Force Recon. They can't make it through the training because the training is
and because they have because they haven't changed the standards either. Now, there's the difference. For Army, for basic training and whatnot, they lowered the standards. They changed that. And I would like to bring in one other thing here. Bill Clinton was by far the biggest sexual deviant and pervert that we probably had in the White House since Thomas Jefferson. So Bill Clinton was just a complete degenerate. And lo and behold, what did Bill Clinton prioritize? Having as many females in the military sexually available as possible. Don't ask, don't tell. Let's go ahead and make sure we bring the gays in. So that kind of explains a few things. Did Hillary have a hand in that? Who knows? But yeah, when you're talking about a president who prioritized sexual degeneracy, and then next thing you know, that becomes policy, and then next thing you know, your military becomes a brothel, which worked out just fine for Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. Worked out just fine if that's your priority. By the way, I just thought I would go ahead and connect those dots for you all real quick before we get too far along. Caller is very good to bring it up. I just wanted to connect those dots real quick between Bill Clinton and these policies and his friends and the outcome. No, it's not accidental. Not at all.
Exactly. Here's a bit of irony, too. In 98, there used to be a point where you can buy pornography on military exchanges and ship stores on ship stores. Clinton was the one that signed that policy out, but yet, like you mentioned before, Clinton was the biggest sexual deviant of all the presidents. Just throw that out there.
Now, isn't that amazing? So you can't get pornography, but you can run a hoe house in the barracks.
Exactly.
Think about that for a few moments. You can't get pornography. We'll just provide you the women. Amazing.
Exactly. And back in 2004, when I got to the Truman, like a few callers mentioned, I walked on board. They just broke up a prostitution ring on the ship. And here's the killer. The woman who's the madam was a security, Navy police. Ran a prostitution ring on the ship. So yeah,
it's always been that way. There's this stereotype that it's the men. The women are the chief engineers of setting out other women. Whether it be your mama, your grandmama, your teachers, your girlfriends. If females are getting set out in a group, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Beyonce, Janet Jackson, if females are getting set out in a group, it's not a man. It's usually not a man who's normalizing that, ringleading that. That's usually going to be another group of females ringing them together. That's usually going to be what it is. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 973. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello. This is Leopold from New Jersey. I'd like to talk about your topic.
Caller from area code 229. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, caller from 229 has been abducted. Caller from area code 651. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How's it going, Jason? This is Marcus. I'm calling out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Marcus out of St. Paul. What's on your mind?
I had 2 quick points to make. As far as the females go, I just wanted, we've all seen the videos of people fighting or just in the States. I'm just talking about in the States, and they're the ones who are screaming and running in terror. I noticed that quite often, actually. I've seen a lot of videos, I'm on Facebook, I'm on, sometimes I search through World Star, and whenever there's a conflict, women tend to run screaming, and you would think that they know the person almost, to me, like, even shootings. I've seen shootings online, and I run across these videos, and you would think that they're screaming bloody murder, like that's one of their brothers or sisters or something. I never understood that. But I understand because they don't want the smoke. They don't want no kind of smoke at all. So I agree with the point that you're making. Like, no, they're not built for war. They don't want none of that.
Yeah, I mean, the only
they
people
like to war against.
We've created a society where the females have been empowered to be bullies. We created a society where the females have been empowered to be narcissists, conceited, bullies, because the only people they get buck with are us. When they're in a real situation where the amount of harm they can receive is unlimited, all of a sudden they shrink back where they were again. And what I'm saying is that's destructive, that's dangerous, because you don't put somebody like that in charge of anything. It's situations like this that really illuminate how lopsided and out of balance things are.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. And my last point was with the whole Russia incident and everything that's going on with Russia and the Ukraine and everything. There's a documentary that I saw. It's called Unit 751, if I'm not mistaken. I get the numbers wrong, but if you search that up, you should be able to find it. But it kind of basically states out that kind of like World War II when that ended, and how the United States kind of gave the freedom to some of those Nazis and things like that. Kind of the same thing was going on in Japan, and they did the same thing and brought those scientists to work with into the United States, gave them immunity against being captured, and they were doing some crazy. It's a documentary. It's crazy. I don't want to get into that, but
well, definitely there's a lot to learn at this point here now, because right now it is all the way real over there. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. There's a lot to learn from this experience. By the way, I need some of the American females here, some of you strong and independent females. The chicks over there in the Ukraine are showing you how to get the business done. We need for you all to show this type of energy, strong and independent. We need y'all to start showing this type of energy. Keep that same energy when you're jerking your neck, when you're being defiant, when you're swinging on men, when you're being difficult, when you're threatening men, when you're on World Star. We need y'all to keep that same energy now. You're strong and independent. You can handle it. You can do everything. To get ready to serve in this man's army. Caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Black. This is Black Voltron calling out of West Oakland, California.
Black Voltron out of Oakland. What's on your mind?
Where they at, man? Where they at, Jason?
Brother, I'm looking.
Where's these strong, independent women? Where they at? Where they at? You know, up here talking all this mess, talking about I'm so strong and independent, I can do whatever a man can do. Where's all these 3, 4, 5 generations of, strong, independent women that, are so much better than men, especially better than black men? Where they at? As I don't see any of these entertainers, any of these media personalities, any of these, feminazis up here talking that babble no more. Where's feminazi babble? Y'all got quiet with the quickness as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine. Where they at? Don't get quiet now. What's up with it? Why all of a sudden you scared? Because I remember when I filled out that selective service form, and not even a year later, they had invasion of Panama, okay? And I was kind of scared, like, oh, shit, we're in war. Not 2 years later, it was the, invasion of Iraq. Like, hey, we might have a draft. People were actually saying that. And, that was a real thing. What am I going to do? I guess I'm going to have to do what every other young male did is, get ready to go to the service. But women don't think about that. They sit up there and talk all this bullshit, how strong and independent you are. But now when the bullets getting ready to start flying, now all of a sudden, hey, I'm ready to go to the kitchen. I'm ready to have, be a traditional woman all over again. I don't want to be a stud. I ain't tough no more. Hey, can we get along? Everything's so friendly and complimentary. We got a hella cooperation going on right now. All of a sudden, women don't want to be strong and independent no more. And I think it's very, very hypocritical, for women to, sit up here and talk all this bullshit. And then all of a sudden, when it's time to put the, pedal to the metal and, put your feet to the fire and get into where the bullets and explosions are happening, now all of a sudden you don't want to say nothing. It's hypocrisy. It's absolute hypocrisy now. And it's being displayed all over the United States, all over the world. So, just want to say thank you, and be one. Much
B1 as
appreciated.
always, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, the first step to dealing with this is to have a real discussion about it, to have a national discussion where we sit down here in the open and talk to each other about this and compare notes so everybody understands that the jig is up. The jig is up. We're not going for it. Caller from area code 229, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name's Eric. I'm calling from San Antonio.
Eric from San Antonio, what's on your mind?
Yes, I did 28 years in the military. I did 14 years in the Navy and 14 years in the Army. And I know about that Kitty Hawk deal, and it just gave me memories when I heard your caller previously say that. Yes, I sat up there and watched them prostitution rings, and I watched the female go out on deployment with us. She never spent not one dime of her money. When she came back, when we got back stateside, she had the biggest Mercedes-Benz. We come back home with money, but good Lord, this woman she bust out. And she was, I didn't call officers. I was one of them decking hands where I have to walk around the ship and check certain security areas. And I called up on two lieutenants up in our bosun locker, but I didn't trick on them. And that's when we got our first two females. We call them Twin Peaks. Because, they're the two females on the boat. We had some other ones, but they wasn't all that. But they wasn't in the celebrity light. And then in the Army, I ain't going to say the celebrity's name that came and performed in Fallujah when I was up in Iraq. Man, it was like a long line going straight to his room. I had to stand duty there for about 8 hours. And just women go in and go out, go in and go out. So they natural to it, They claim men are dogs, but I never seen nothing like it. These women literally threw themselves to the celebrity, and the military do that, I guess, to ease the pain of the women because they ain't bring no celebrity female for us. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unbelievable what you see in the military. But, I'm proud that I served my country for 28 years. I'm getting ready for this 5-month war. It's going to hit America. It's going to affect the whole world. So all I want to say is just God bless everybody, Mr. Black. And I just hope we all get ready and get your water and everything that you need to prepare for this. Because this is it to me.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight, brother. We appreciate that. And definitely nothing less life is real, like facing a military situation. Nothing less that life is real than having something like that occur. That's when you find out it's real. Caller from area code 313, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is Byron from Detroit. I go back to the Gulf War. I'm going to remind some of these women what you got to look forward to go to. A female pilot got shot down in Iraq. She got captured. She didn't go to no prisoner of war camp. She went to the hut of the Iraqis, and they had their way with her for some time before the war ended. So they keep promoting these blonde hair, blue-eyed women in these uniforms, and you come in and be all you can be. Just keep in mind, that's what you got looking forward to if you're going to get captured by the enemy. So that's the real deal right there, Jack.
People, the real problem we have is they don't appreciate the level of protection that they've enjoyed. Now they just take it for granted. And when people take something for granted, then they start showing utter contempt to the person or the people who grant it. And that's where we're at right now. And that's why I want to do nice programs so we can have a day of reckoning for that. Thank you very much for giving us a call there. Let me see. Do I have an international caller here? You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, caller there has been abducted. Caller from area code 618. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jason, this is Garrett over at Sparta, Illinois.
All right,
I was
Garrett,
just gonna call him
load
to
us
say
on your
that.
mind.
Yeah, I was just calling to say that I think some of these females need to practice that phrase, that page you gave them last week, and that was grab their man and just tell them, hey, I need you. Bottom line. That's all I got to say, bro.
Well, I mean,
Back
if you wish to survive, it's a matter of survival now. Caller from area code 678. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Dorian Monroe, and I just want to say that my personal opinion is that we as a people have no business fighting in any war that is not for our own reparation or equality as foundational black
Okay, brother.
Americans.
Well, we're not discussing that tonight, but thank you very much for weighing in. Whole lot of lessons to be learned. Whole lot of lessons to be learned. There are a whole lot of lessons to be learned here. And you're going to learn them fast now. This is just one of those reminders. It's one of those reminders just how fake and phony this modern so-called feminist ideology is. It doesn't matter if there is a draft or isn't. There most likely will not be, but it won't matter even if there is. I want this to be a wake-up call to the young men of today. Take a look at how quiet the so-called feminists, the so-called neck jerkers, all the sassy broads, take a look at how quiet they got and how quickly they got quiet. They're not talking about equality anymore. They're not talking about challenging your authority. They're not talking about how they can do what you do. All of a sudden, it's gotten deathly quiet around this mug, ain't it? It's gotten deathly quiet around here. And the reason for that is because this is the way reality always works. This is the way reality always works. When you ask what do you need a man for, yeah, it is good to have a man who's financially capable and whatnot. Your survival certainly depends on that. But you need to have a man who is competent. That when there is danger, he's actually competent to be able to deal with it. And you need a man who isn't safe. You need a man who has a level of dangerousness to him because you live in a dangerous world. And it might not be Putin and the boys. It might be some degenerates trying to carjack you somewhere. You don't know what's going on. And the police will be quick to tell you, well, give the bad guys what they want, give them what they want. Well, what if what they want is to take your car and then sexually assault you? If you're a female, what if what they want is, they want to take your car, but they also want to assault you too? Do you still just give them what they want? For some of you, I guess the answer is yes. For some of you, I don't know. Might be a different answer. But the real issue here is I want you to understand what you're dealing with. I want you to understand what you're dealing with. This is a very important point right now, especially during this time in history. Especially during this time in history. Can you imagine that? So to the young people of today, when you're witnessing and watching these things, and if you were wondering if it was real, a lot of you have been wrestling with it because you hear it so much, because decades before you were born, there were a bunch of crap meisters and a bunch of whacked out psychos in the media, Oprah Winfrey and her ilk, who were propped up to say all this garbage, and you've been hearing it so much, you might have told yourself these females actually believe some of this stuff they're saying, and the truth is, hell no, they don't believe none of this mess. That's for your consumption. When the crap hits the fan, she gonna hit the flow. And that's it. I don't know what she gonna be doing when she gets there, but it ain't gonna be fighting. She will be depending on you to do that. She will be depending on you and only you. Her survival is in your hands. And that's the way it's always been. And this will never change. So long as you have the laws of physics, that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it will always be. It is not going to change. The purpose of you becoming capable, the purpose of you becoming resourceful, the purpose of you having that is so that in the event that danger strikes, you have the ability to protect those around you. Money alone is not going to do that. Competence will. And you've been deceived into thinking that competence is no longer valuable. Oh, yes, it is. Competence is every bit as valuable as it's always been. Because in situations like this, there are only two people, the quick and the dead. Welcome to the real damn world. I'm going to be hosting a program here tomorrow afternoon on Patreon. It's going to be one specifically for the females so that we can discuss about your tool set and your ability to get a man of resources to take you seriously. And there's some of the ideas that you've had about what you perceive to be or what you classify as being taken seriously are not what you think they are and don't have the credibility you tell yourself. So if you're not members of my Patreon, giving you a heads up right now, tomorrow afternoon, 12 noon Central Time, going to be hosting a special program. Going to be having a few females I'm going to be talking with so we can dispel some myths here. No, ladies and gentlemen, equality is dead. And the females killed it because they never actually wanted it. They just thought that they thought they could use that word to steal extra benefits. But no, they don't want equality because equality requires sacrifice. And that's not what they're after. They just thought they could steal a little something. They don't really want the smoke. And they damn sure don't want the bombs and the flames. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that laid the foundation upon which all your red pill, MGTOW, high value posers are going to steal and copycat everything you heard here tonight. They'll be repackaging it next week and messing it up merrily, but you heard it here first. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Check again to make sure that you are still subscribed. As you all saw tonight, YouTube is still messing with my channel. It's what they do because this is the only place you get the real. But make sure you are subscribed. If they unsubscribe you, make sure you resubscribe to it again. They're declared war on the channel, but you are the front line that stops that. And if you haven't joined our Patreon, the link is in the description of this video and every other video. Make sure you go ahead and join us for that here tomorrow as well. Thank you all for joining us tonight. To everyone who contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, or Super Chat, I want to thank you all for that as well. Also, the comments section has been lit as always. We appreciate that here. G.I.Ho. is going to be in the lexicon. You know that's going to be happening here. So thank you all very much for joining us tonight. This concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, ladies, because your business might just be getting ready to handle you.